He accidentally tore the street vendor's shirt and saw the dragon tattoo on his chest. Only then did the security guard realize he had made a huge mistake. He recognized the man as the notorious gangster who killed 18 people 18 years ago. Anna could never have imagined that her seemingly honest father, just released from prison, had connections with the mafia. A few days ago, when George was released, dozens of luxury cars came to greet him. The old brothers told him that during the boss's absence, the company had grown into the world's largest conglomerate. It was thanks to him alone that the brothers could survive back then. Now everyone was waiting for him to reclaim control of the group, but prison life had dulled George's sharp edge. He said he only wanted to live a quiet life with his daughter. His younger brother was very surprised. All these years, they had been waiting for his return, but the years in prison had taken away all his sharpness. George told him to run the company well and make sure it didn't become a breeding ground for crime. After that, he patted his younger brother on the shoulder and headed home. When he saw his familiar front door, memories flooded back to the time he first went to prison. His wife, heavily pregnant, had promised to wait for him, but as he inserted the key to open the door, he overheard a conversation between his wife and daughter. His daughter angrily declared that she didn't like her father, who had been imprisoned for theft. For years, his wife had been lying to their daughter, saying he had been jailed for stealing manhole covers. Anna, in her adolescence, had always been embarrassed by the father she had never met. Just then, George walked in. His wife was overjoyed to see him out of prison. She immediately introduced him to Anna, but Anna, seeing her father's meek appearance, felt disgusted. She said her image of her father had always been of a strong, imposing figure. After saying that, she turned and left. His wife awkwardly told George that their daughter was just like him when he was young. George didn't mind her words. He only wanted to protect his wife and daughter now. That day, he even set up a stall outside Anna's school to sell lunch. When Anna saw him, she was furious. She asked if he was deliberately embarrassing her at school. When the other students found out he was Anna's father, they immediately started mocking her. They joked that he was sentenced to 18 years for stealing a manhole cover. They also said that a former gangster boss, who fought alone against hundreds, was also sentenced to 18 years. But that man had fought for his brothers, while Anna's father had only stolen something. Hearing them, George didn't mind. He handed his daughter a plate of fried rice and told her to eat while it was warm, but Anna threw the fried noodles at him. It landed right on the cafeteria manager's chest. The manager had been planning to confront George about selling fried noodles outside the school. Now he had a good reason to confront him. George quickly apologized, explaining that his daughter didn't understand, but the manager slapped him. Before George could respond, Anna was upset. George quickly stopped her, asking her not to be impulsive. As he continued to apologize, the manager made it clear he was just there to smash the stall. Because George selling food outside the school affected the cafeteria's business, the manager ordered security to smash everything. Anna thought her father might finally show some impulse, like a man, and fight back. But to her surprise, George smiled and told them that the stall was ruined, and the anger had dissipated. He asked them to forgive his daughter. Although they smashed the stall, the manager wasn't going to let it go easily. He pointed to the garbage on the ground, saying it was unsightly. He gave George 3 minutes to clean it up, or else both he and his daughter would be in trouble. George immediately kneeled down and started cleaning. Just then, the manager kicked him, laughing. The nearby students commented that Anna's father was not a man at all. He didn't dare speak up after his stall was destroyed. He even smiled and apologized after being slapped. Hearing this, Anna couldn't hold her head up anymore. She asked her father if he had done this to embarrass her. "If you were a man, you would fight back," she said. "Otherwise, don't expect me to acknowledge you." George told her that some things were more important than face. He turned to the manager and asked, "Can we leave now?" But the manager, seeing how easy it was to bully him, wasn't done. He didn't realize how big a mistake he was about to make. He ordered security to break George's legs. Without some consequences, anyone could come and sell food outside the school. Just as the security was about to move on George, they noticed his tattoo. They were shocked, realizing this wasn't just any tattoo. It was the same tattoo the wealthiest group had prohibited anyone from getting years ago. Anna was surprised to see that her honest father had a tattoo, but the manager didn't believe it was real. He told his men to hold George down and try to wipe off the fake tattoo. After trying for a while, they realized it was permanent. The manager immediately took out his phone and recorded it, sending it to his boss. He told his boss that someone was impersonating the mafia boss from 18 years ago and that they could claim the reward. At the group's office, the subordinates suddenly brought the video. They told the boss that someone was impersonating their leader. When the subordinates saw George being held by security, they were furious. They immediately gathered all the brothers to rescue him. Meanwhile, Anna was lecturing her father at the school gate. "You can't get a tattoo just to scare people," she said. "Didn't you know that in this city, having this tattoo is like a death sentence? Anyone who impersonates a mafia boss here has never had a good ending." George felt uneasy hearing this. It seemed that people in the company hadn't fully shaken off the mafia's influence. Anna thought her father was silent because he was finally scared. She turned to the manager and begged him not to tell the group's people. She said her father had been in prison for stealing manhole covers 18 years ago and hadn't intended to impersonate a mafia boss. The manager and others laughed. They had never heard of anyone getting 18 years for stealing a manhole cover. Just then, the subordinates arrived, with many brothers and senior executives from the group. The manager quickly received the message. The security guard flattered him, saying, "You're impressive. One sentence brought all the top executives here. Don't forget us when you're successful." Anna heard this and urged her father to leave. She said, "If you don't go now, you won't be able to leave once they arrive. Then, no one can save you." Seeing her father unmoved, she hoped her classmates would help pull him away. But the classmates were only interested in watching the drama and wouldn't help. At this moment, Anna's heart sank. The manager, growing impatient, reached out to slap Anna, but George blocked the slap. At that moment, his expression changed completely. He punched the manager, sending him him flying 2 meters away. After the punch, he told everyone, "You can beat me all you want, but if you touch a single hair on my daughter, I'll end your lives." The manager, shocked, said, "Today, if the big guys from Shang Group don't come, I'll take care of you myself." George turned to his daughter and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of them now." The manager's subordinates charged at him, but George took them down in under a minute. Though he hadn't been active for years, these small fry were nothing to him. Anna was amazed by her father's strength, but she still pulled him and urged him to leave quickly. Even if he was strong, the group's people were not like these few security guards. As she anxiously watched him, George knew his identity couldn't stay hidden any longer. Then, a luxury car from the group arrived. The manager ran over to greet them, surprised to see the president in person. But the subordinates completely ignored him and went straight to George. Behind them, more men gathered. Anna's friends took out their phones, preparing to record the scene. They said, "Today, they're finished." But before the subordinates could reach George, Anna quickly stepped behind him and begged for mercy. She even kneeled and said, "Dad just got out of prison and doesn't understand." Before she could react, everyone saluted George in unison. At that moment, everyone was stunned.